Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex ideas, make them really fascinating, and hopefully give you something actionable.
Absolutely.
And today, we're plunging into a concept that might genuinely shift how you think about, well, personal transformation, well-being.
Yeah, maybe even time itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really makes you reconsider some, deeply ingrained beliefs. So get ready. Our source material for this deep dive, it's from a pretty intriguing YouTube video by Vincent Crown. It's part of his series Tiempo y Atención, Mente Cuántica, Time and Attention, Quantum Mind.
Right.
And this specific one, his quantum vibration of the day, he recorded it from this really serene place in northern Spain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Cantabria, a tiny village called Moño. He talks about being just captivated by the silence, the landscape.
Wow.
Even hearing a rooster crowing, like super early, around 7 a.m.
And that setting, that kind of timelessness, it really hints at what we're diving into, doesn't it?
It totally does. Because the central question Crown poses, it's simple but really profound. Why can't freedom be reached through time?
That hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. It challenges that core belief many of us have. That growth, happiness, freedom. They're all things we sort of earn or arrive at down the road.
In the future, yeah.
So our mission today is to really unpack his argument. We'll dissect the different kinds of time he talks about.
Chronological versus psychological.
Exactly. And understand why he believes true freedom lies outside that conventional timeline we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
This is all about rethinking how you approach change, maybe finding a more, immediate path to liberation.
It's fascinating because Crown just cuts right to this paradox, something we often miss. He points out this tension in how we chase freedom or peace. For centuries, all sorts of conditioning, religion, philosophy, education, even modern self-help
Right.
has pushed us towards this future goal. Strive now, work hard, endure, and then you'll be free someday.
The classic deferred life plan.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
But Crown flips it. He suggests this very approach, this constant looking ahead, might be the exact thing blocking us from freedom now.
Wow. Okay.
It really turns conventional wisdom on its head. So yeah, as we dig in, we'll explore his two types of time. Understanding that difference isn't just like an intellectual thing. No, he argues it's critical. It's a liberating insight for anyone really looking for genuine, lasting change.
Okay, let's get into this. Crown talks about what he calls the circuit of life. What exactly does he mean by that?
Well, it's not like a wiring diagram. It's more like a description of this ingrained mental pattern.
A program.
Sort of, yeah. This deep-seated idea that we're always working towards gaining freedom or happiness or wholeness.
In the future.
Always in the future. It's that constant striving, the belief that this series of actions will eventually lead us there.
You hear it all the time, right? Once I get that promotion, then I'll relax. Or when the kids leave home, then I'll have peace.
Exactly. We build our lives around these future milestones, expecting liberation to arrive with them.
And Crown points out, this isn't just some new fad from a self-help book.
Not at all.
He says this belief that inner change is slow, gradual, needs time. It's centuries old. It's deeply rooted.
You can trace it everywhere. Spiritual paths talking about lifetimes of effort, philosophies emphasizing slow self-mastery, psychological models with developmental stages.
Right, step by step.
They all imply, in one way or another, that the path to being better, freer, is this long journey through time. It's the narrative of always becoming.
Never quite being.
Exactly, never quite arrived, always in progress.
So, how has this shaped us historically?
Well, think about it. This idea has guided so much societal structures, personal goals, major religions, ancient philosophies, modern self-help gurus. Many promote this incremental evolutionary path. You're climbing a ladder towards a higher self.
Which implies the present self is lacking.
Inherently incomplete, yeah. Always need improvement, always falling short of that future ideal. It keeps us striving, which feels productive.
But is it?
That's what Crown questions. What's the real cost of this approach?
Okay. What does he say the cost is?
He says this path often involves constant effort, repressing impulses we don't like, disciplining desires, trying to live up to some superior image of who we should be.
Pushing away the bad parts of ourselves now for a good version later.
Precisely. And he asks, what's the price of that? Emotionally, psychologically.
But is it?
He suggests that in this relentless chase for the future, a great part of life escapes us.
Wow. That's powerful.
Think about it, the present moments we miss because our minds are stuck in tomorrow's worries or yesterday's regrets.
The sunset you don't see because you're mentally drafting an email.
Or the conversation you have here because you're planning your response or worrying about something else entirely.
That feeling of I'll really live when, or I'll be happy if.
Exactly. That constant postponement, Crown argues, robs us of the richness of now. We trade the real, vivid present for an imagined, maybe unreachable someday.
So are we sacrificing the present for a future that might never actually deliver?
That's the core question he's raising. Is the journey we think sets us free actually keeping us trapped and wanting?
Which leads him back to that fundamental challenge.
Right. Is time truly necessary for freedom from fear? Or is this idea of psychological time, this tomorrow, where we'll finally be okay, actually what keeps fear going?
So maybe the strategy is the problem.
He implies it might be more than just a strategy. It might be part of the problem itself.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. He asks that critical question.
Yeah.
Is time needed to get free from fear? Or is psychological time, this whole idea of becoming free over time, actually keeping fear alive?
Yeah, as a sharp pivot, he's suggesting our go-to strategy might be feeding the beast, not slaying it.
And then he connects our inner state to our outer world. How does he frame that?
He draws a direct line. Where fear exists inside us, he says, the mind is in disorder, internal chaos, fragmentation.
Right.
And where there's inner disorder, he argues, you inevitably see outer disorder in our lives, our relationships, our surroundings.
But it's not just personal angst.
Yeah.
It ripples outward.
That's his point. It's interconnected. Our individual inner state contributes to or reflects the collective reality. We're not just passive observers. Our inner landscape matters externally.
So if our old strategies are maybe making things worse, what's the alternative? How do we deal with fear then?
Well, he's very clear. Fear doesn't just vanish by projecting it into the future.
It doesn't just fade with age?
Nope. Nor does it dissolve just by having more experiences or gaining more knowledge. You can live a long life, achieve a lot, but if that core mechanism isn't addressed, fear sticks around.
So meditation promising future peace or hoping for a distant heaven, that's not it either.
According to Crown, no, those are future-focused solutions. His point is, fear isn't solved by waiting for a tomorrow where it's gone. Deferring it just keeps it present.
Why does it persist then, according to him?
He argues pretty forcefully that fear feeds on tomorrow, on the waiting, on that very idea that someday we will be free.
Okay.
The problem is, he says, someday never arrives, precisely because the mechanism sustaining fear is this concept of psychological time.
So by always aiming for freedom later, we ensure we don't have it now.
Exactly. It's a self-perpetuating loop. The promise of future relief becomes the chain that binds us in the present.
That's a critical insight. Our good intentions might be backfiring.
It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, thinking eventually it'll just burn itself out. He suggests we need a fundamentally different approach.
Okay, so how do we break this cycle? He offers a key distinction, right? Between two kinds of time.
Yes. Absolutely vital. First, there's chronological time.
The one we all know. Clocks, calendars.
Seasons changing, our bodies aging. It's practical, universal, undeniably real.
You need it to catch a train, meet someone at 3 p.m., plan a project.
Right. Functional, concrete, totally necessary for existing in the physical world. It governs physics, day and night, cause and effect.
He's not arguing against that time.
Not at all. He states it clearly. Yes, this time exists. We need it. His focus is elsewhere.
On the other kind, psychological time.
Exactly. And this, he says, is completely different. It's not external, not universal.
It's internal, a mental construct.
Precisely. Made by our own minds, woven into our consciousness, often without us even noticing. It's subjective, not tied to the clock.
And what's it built on? How does it work?
He says it's fundamentally built on comparison. Comparing now to the past, I used to be happier, or to an imagined future, I'll be content when. It's fueled by memory, constantly replaying old hurts or glories, and crucially, rooted in that desire to become something we are not.
That desire to become.
That's the key. It implies we're always incomplete now, always striving for an ideal self projected into the future. We're never there, because there is always later.
And the consequence of living like this.
Crown is unequivocal. This mental time is what prolongs suffering.
How so?
It's that inner voice whispering, later I'll be free, later I'll deal with this, later things will be orderly.
The constant default.
Yes. That keeps us stuck. We push the solution, the peace, into a someday that never arrives, because the act of waiting is living in psychological time. It perpetuates the very condition.
It's a trap.
A cruel trick of the mind, yeah.
He also talks about the urgency of the present, right?
He paints a vivid picture. Someone who is, quote, wounded, confused, divided inside, suffering now.
Yeah.
That person can't realistically wait another 2 million years for peace. The need is immediate. It's not a future luxury.
Waiting isn't an option when the house is on fire.
Exactly. To defer it is to stay fragmented, which, as he said, creates outer disorder too. The suffering is now.
So this leads to his core proposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's needed is to see now.
See now. Not just understand, but see.
It's a direct, immediate perception of reality, inner and outer, without the filters of past memories or future hopes and fears. Being fully present to what is, that's the doorway.
Okay, so if waiting for tomorrow doesn't work, what does seeing now actually involve? How do we even start doing that?
Yeah.
Sounds simple, but hard.
It does. He bridges it by first connecting inner and outer. Seeing now includes understanding you're not separate from the world.
How so? Society isn't just out there.
No, he says it's the collective expression of millions of consciousnesses like ours, an interconnected web. Our inner state isn't purely private, it ripples out.
So personal change isn't just for us.
It inherently resonates outward? Your inner state affects the collective?
He connects that to world problems too, doesn't he?
Directly. He emphasizes, where there's inner conflict in individuals, there's violence in the world. Inner fear leads to outer chaos.
Wow. So our personal inner state literally shapes the collective experience.
That's the implication. Global disorder reflects accumulated inner disorder, so real change has to start within.
Which is why waiting for time to fix things is
a form of evasion, he says. True, fundamental change doesn't just arrive with the ticking clock. It's not a future event.
Believing it will is just avoiding the real work.
Avoiding the immediate truth that change is needed now. Postponement ensures the problem lingers.
So how does change happen then?
He says it happens in the instant we see deeply.
Okay, unpack seeing deeply. What does that mean practically?
It means seeing without running away from what's present. Confronting reality, fear, discomfort without resisting or distracting ourselves.
Just looking right at it.
Yes. And seeing without trying to modify it. Letting whatever is there just be initially without fixing or judging.
Like that knot of anxiety. Just observing it.
Observing the sensation itself, its quality, intensity, without the mental story, the what-ifs, the judgment. It starves the fear of its fuel.
And seeing with totality.
Meaning undivided attention, holistic awareness, engaging all senses, not fragmented. And this kind of observation, he stresses.
At any time?
Exactly. It's immediate. An instantaneous recognition, not a gradual process.
But it does need something, right? What does it require?
Yes. Attention-full, undivided awareness on what is. Presence being fully here, now, not lost in past or future. And internal silence.
Internal silence. Quieting the mental chatter.
Not making the mind blank, but quieting the relentless narrative, the shoulds, the what-ifs, the stories spun by psychological time, creating mental space to perceive clearly.
And these aren't things that take years to build.
No, they're states of being accessible now. They can be cultivated in any moment.
So what happens when someone finds this inner order? Through seeing deeply, attention, silence.
Crown says that inner order inevitably radiates outward. It can't be contained.
Why not?
Because, he reminds us, one is not an island. We're part of society, interconnected. Inner peace contributes to collective peace. Clarity contributes to understanding.
Like ripples in a pond.
A natural diffusion. Your state affects the whole.
So real transformation isn't some far-off goal.
No, it's a silent revolution that starts the moment we stop waiting for it. An internal shift in relating to time and experience.
A revolution of being, not becoming.
Exactly. Changing the architecture of consciousness right here, right now. It's about liberation, not just improvement. #tag the illusion of tomorrow.
This leads into that really provocative question, almost existential. Does tomorrow, the psychological one, even exist?
Yeah, it stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? We just assume it's real, a given. He urges us to really scrutinize that assumption.
And he's careful to distinguish this from clock time again, right?
Absolutely crucial. He insists he's not questioning chronological time clocks, calendars, schedules. That's functional, necessary for physical life.
We need that to coordinate, plan, build things.
Totally. What he's laser focused on is the internal time, that psychological tomorrow we carry inside. the mental construct.
He's asking us to separate objective time passing from our subjective story about the future self.
Precisely. And how does he say this psychological tomorrow comes about?
What's its origin?
He explains it's an image, a projection, born when the mind feels incapable of changing right now.
So it's a coping mechanism.
In a way, because facing the urgency of immediate change feels too hard, too uncomfortable, the mind constructs the idea of a process over time. It postpones the difficulty.
Which shows up in how we talk to ourselves.
Exactly. Tomorrow will be different. I'll get there eventually. Later I'll be free. The thought process itself becomes a delay tactic.
A psychological evasion.
A way to dilute the need for immediate action or facing something tough. We tell ourselves time will fix it or we'll be stronger later.
So he really pushes us. Is this tomorrow real or just a fiction we invent?
A fiction to avoid looking deeply at the present, he suggests. He observes, look, we see something needs changing, the disorder, the fragmentation, the pain. We know it's there.
Yeah, we feel it.
But instead of fully attending to it, we default to later. I need time. I'll work on it bit by bit.
Kicking the can down the road.
And that very gesture, that postponement, he argues, reveals the whole structure of psychological time.
What does it reveal?
That it's a mental creation born from fear of seeing what is right now in its raw truth. It prefers the imagined comfort of what will be.
It's a defense against uncomfortable reality.
A very sophisticated one. It's not a path to freedom. It's a trick that keeps freedom perpetually in the future, always just out of reach. Hashtag tag the self, conditioned thought, and the closed loop.
Okay, now he takes it even deeper. This internal time isn't just linear, it's a closed circle. What does that mean?
Yeah, a self-perpetuating loop. He illustrates how past experiences, wounds, memories, even successes leave a mark. And then we interpret the present moment through the filter of that past mark. Yesterday colors today.
We're always looking back to understand now.
Constantly referencing it. And then this distorted present shaped by the past
projects the future.
Exactly. So we live, he suggests, dragged by what was, which conditions what is, which then anticipates what will come. It's a continuous loop within our own conditioned thinking.
So reality is always just a variation on the past, never truly new.
That seems to be his point. It's self-reinforcing.
But we often call that growth or evolution, don't we? We feel like we're moving forward.
We do. But Crown asks provocatively, is it real advancement? Or just repeating the same underlying patterns in new clothes?
Is it just rearranging the furniture in the same room?
That's a good way to put it. He challenges whether this cycle is true progress or just modification within the same confines.
And it's at its core, this psychological time is just thought.
Nothing more than thought, he says. Not objective reality, but a mental construct. Specifically, accumulated, conditioned thought.
All our memories, beliefs, experiences.
Trapped in its own history, our thoughts arise from the past, and they recreate a reality based on that past, projecting it forward. It's a self-referential system.
Rarely breaks free.
And this leads him to question the I, the self. What is that?
What does he suggest?
He suggests the I is precisely this conditioned thought with its memories, desires, fears, hopes, and that constant feeling of being incomplete.
So the self is the loop.
The I is the entity that waits to change tomorrow, fears failure, seeks future security to soothe present emptiness. Our very sense of identity might be bound up in this time-based postponement mechanism.
Wow. So breaking free from psychological time might mean rethinking who we even think we are.
It implies that, yes, seeing the self not as fixed, but as part of this dynamic, conditioned process, hashtag the transformative power of here and now.
Okay, so if psychological time is this loop, this fiction, this source of suffering, what's the way out? He poses that really radical question again.
Yeah. What if that psychological tomorrow didn't exist at all?
And what if the only real chance for transformation, for freedom, is right here, right now?
Without time, without process, without waiting.
It completely flips our usual understanding of change. It's not about becoming, it's about realizing.
He calls it a deep awakening. It's not just thinking differently.
It's experiencing differently.
Yes. A fundamental shift in perception, a direct non-conceptual grasp of reality now, without the past-future filter. A leap from idea to lived reality.
And he emphasizes that clinging to the idea that we need time.
That itself is the barrier. The belief that liberation requires a future process is what postpones it. It's a self-imposed limitation.
The mind wants that gradual path, but that very desire blocks the immediate possibility.
Exactly. The search for freedom in the future guarantees it stays out of reach now.
But when that illusion dissolves, when we understand how psychological time works, experientially,
when it's seen directly as the barrier it is, then, he says, another thing can emerge. That deep understanding is key. Seeing the mechanism within yourself.
And this other thing that emerges, what's it like?
It's a state where time seems to stop, a state without accumulation, no carrying forward of past baggage.
Without reference to the past.
Perceiving the present freshly, directly, and without comparison to an imagined future, no ideal self to chase.
So the mind isn't dragging the past or anticipating the future.
It simply is, in pure presence. Without past, without tomorrow. A moment of just being unburdened by psychological time.
Which leads to his final conclusion about freedom.
Yes. Freedom isn't a goal to achieve. It's an evidence.
Evidence. Explain that.
We think of freedom as something we earn or attain. He suggests it's more like gravity always present, but obscured by the noise of psychological time.
So when that mental motion stops?
When the illusion of needing time falls away, freedom doesn't arrive. It just becomes evident. It was there all along.
You don't acquire it, you uncover it.
Exactly. By removing the mental constructs, primarily psychological time, that hide it, it's about releasing what's already there, not adding something new. Hashtag outro.
So we've really taken a deep dive into Vincent Crown's perspective on time and freedom today. It's definitely challenging stuff.
It really makes you think differently.
He's drawn that sharp line between chronological time, which we need, and that tricky psychological time, the mental construct that he argues fuels suffering.
Built on comparison, memory, wanting to become.
Right. And his core message is that real transformation, freedom from fear, isn't way off in the future. It's an immediate possibility.
Found in seeing now, through presence, attention, inner silence.
Stepping out of that past, present, future loop and finding liberation in the timeless now. So here's something to consider in your own life. What are you postponing? What fear are you waiting to vanish? What change are you putting off until tomorrow?
Believing it needs time.
Yeah. And what if, as Crown suggests, that very waiting, that belief in needing future time, is the thing preventing you from experiencing that freedom or resolution right now?
That's a powerful thought to sit with.
Definitely worth mulling over. Could it be as simple and maybe as difficult as just seeing what is right now?
And it prompts that question. How often do we create that psychological tomorrow just to avoid the intensity, maybe even the beauty of the present moment?
Right.
Understanding this distinction isn't just abstract philosophy. It can genuinely change how you face challenges, how you think about growth, how you seek peace.
It suggests liberation might be much closer than we thought.
Far closer. Not dependent on the clock ticking, but on the quality of your attention, right here, right now.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this exploration offered some new insights, maybe a different lens for your own journey.
Yeah, hopefully some food for thought.
Until next time, keep digging deeper.